as their anxiety
Exactly.
brings. I remember when I used to do the 6 o'clock show, the Michael Aspel programme, my recurring, and I'm not an anxious person, made the record show, but I did used to have this, because it was live, I'd be on the top of a double-decker bus, passing DER TV rentals, and in the window the theme tune was coming on. Oh no, what am I doing on this bus?
I'm supposed to be on.
Exactly, and you were naked at the Albert Hall.
Yeah, I was doing a gig, and the gig actually was going well in this stream, so I thought I was getting away with it. You know, it seemed like it actually wasn't going to be an anxiety nightmare, it was going to be a good one, but no, then I looked down and
well, very briefly, I was, for that very 6 o'clock show, I was covering a celebrity tennis tournament, the Elton John thing at the Albert Hall. And,
I'm hoping it was the top half.
No, and I had to introduce a thing in black tie, which, you know, I just looked like a bouncer, and then get down to the floor to play a little bit of tennis with some of these people, Cliff Richard and people. So I snuck off into one of the boxes on the second floor, because the crew were outside, and crews being crews, I thought they'd take a little bit of film of me with my trousers down. You know, that's what they call the Christmas tapes. So I got into the box and got changed, keeping my head through the curtain to look out at the camera crew, dropped my trousers, and then thought, oh, that's the Albert Hall behind me, isn't it? There's a lot of people. I promise you, I dropped my trousers at the Albert Hall. That'll be a follow-up, Tracy. It's a book about.
Next time.
It is a book about singing.
Yes.
Which could be as dry as a stick, but it's not, and that's your gift. I mean, that is your gift at the moment. Now, can everyone sing, Trace? Can everyone sing?
Well, someone asked me this the other day, actually, in an interview, and I said, well, what about you? Can you sing? And he went, oh, no.
Well,
That's what we've answered your question.
I used to sing, but then I was taught to sing.
Yeah. See, I was one of those singers, the scene I came out of, making indie records, I did a lot more singing, actually recording, before I actually started singing live. That's where some of my problems came from, though, which was I got very used to singing in a very controlled environment, nice and close up to the mic, everything all lovely and quiet. And I think that was where I really discovered my voice, was actually recording. And then when Everything But the Girl became successful, we started to do more touring. And then I had to learn, really, how to sing live, which is more like a performance. Well, you've got to be a bit more outgoing. You know, literally you need a bit more volume, especially if you're singing with a band behind you. People used to shout at some of our gigs, turn the vocals up. And there's only so much the sound guy can do. You know, beyond a certain limit, you actually do physically need to be putting more volume down the microphone.
That went contrary to your stage presence, of course. You'd rather not been there at all.
I would sort of rather have not been there at all, or perhaps been there but sort of behind a screen or something. You know, people not actually able to see me.
And there's a wonderful passage in the book about accents, and always tricky word. I mean, Tony Newley was probably the first person I think, to sing in a British accent.
Yeah.
But you're not necessarily again people who sing in an American accent.
No, I think it's a fair choice that you have, you know, to decide what accent you're going to sing in. And, you know, I remember growing up listening to sort of punk records where everyone for a while sang in a British, or very London accent as well. And then I heard Elvis Costello, who seemed to be singing in a really American accent. And I was quite taken aback, but then I realised I loved it. And I thought, well, actually, if you can make it work, then it just doesn't matter. It's whatever works for you.
American, like, you know, with dance, romance, lends itself more to me.
It's a longer vowel sound.
Yeah.
So it does enable you sometimes to come across a bit more. You can make your singing a bit more smooth. You know, sometimes with a London accent, you keep a bit more edge. Which, if edge is what you want, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
but if edge isn't what you want,
I mean, someone like Ian Dury, for example, do you suspect he could have sung differently? Well, I think he did if you listen to Kilburn and the High Road.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, this is me.
No, well, exactly. And people vary it, but you can listen to different records by people and they sound a bit different. So then you think, well, what's their real voice then? You know, there's an element of acting.
I mean, dear old Elton John.
Amazing vowels.
I
mean, he just invented his own vowels. It's not even like he's really singing in an American accent. No. He's just making it up as he goes along, which is, again, I think, great with singers. Really, you come up with something that's unique to you.
But you make a lovely observation about when they go too far, when they sing in an American accent, but later on when you find they talk.
Yes. And there have been people who've got a bit of stick for that. It's like you can accept it if it's just on record, but actually if you start speaking like that.
Yeah, it's a trap to fall into. Their toddlers sing free and easy. I love them. Toddlers sing right at the top like that. And that's a very amusing thing.
Yes.
And so, is it something that you believe is in everyone? That do you suspect people who don't sing? Are you suspicious?
Yeah, I mean, most people sing a bit. Everyone sings as kids, you're right. Yeah. And, you know, there is that sort of thing that it's just part of that youthful exuberance. I mean, I love it when kids sing in a group loudest, and really the one who's best is just the one who's loudest, isn't it? They do see it as a sort of volume competition.
Yeah,
I think it's really endearing watching kids sing.
And were you encouraged, by the way? Did you?
No, not particularly. I was brought up in a bit of an era when, you taught not to show off too much.
Yes, that's the thing, the showing
again,
off.
I think that made me a bit inhibited, I think, which doesn't sit well when you then find yourself on stage and you've got a little nagging voice in the back of your head saying, stop showing off.
Stop showing off. You don't hear it so much anymore.
No, you don't. I think
now we lament it.
We encourage kids maybe to be a bit more demonstrative now.
So are there rules, do you find, if there are rules, are they important?
About singing?
Yeah.
No, I don't think there are. I don't think there are. Not in pop singing, anyway.
No.
You can sometimes you've got a chorus where the second line is slightly different in chorus 2 to what it is in chorus 1. And as you start it, your brain's going, oh, hang on a minute, is this the first or the second chorus? Which line is this? And then if you really sing the wrong line, then you're really going to...
The old turning away because I'm so into the groove, but you can always get away with doing that, can't you? You just turn around like that. And when you're miming, do you actually sing very quietly?
Yes. Yeah. I used to sing. I think it's impossible to mime without...
I don't know how it would look realistic if you didn't.
I mean, it'd be interesting to know, find out whether other people do actually just...
Well, sometimes they
open their mouths.
I know through the shows I've worked on, they leave the mics up to cover other things. So they say,
so that's
I've heard people saying, don't sing along because we will hear this, you too, if you will.
There's another risk.
They have that.
Yeah.
And a step sideways from miming, sound checking. As a working musician, are they a drag?
Yeah, they're a complete drag. And also slightly meaningless always, because you sound check in an empty room, which then, with any luck, is full of people a couple of hours later, which changes everything about what it sounds like.
Yeah, I've often thought that for people
so that's very difficult.
Obviously, this is the run-through a band do before they take to the stage. I've often thought, is it just agreed we all turn up and do this? Or is there any point to it?
I think there is a point to it. There's all sorts of things that have to be set and obviously check that things are working.
But the trouble, notice of me, by the way. Well, Linz, we're back. That is the main thing. All of my travels over Chicago and through Miami, there's no place like home, even with all the technical difficulties we faced this morning.
We should have had a sound check.
We should have had it, as Tracey Thorn would have had it. But it is terrific to be back, and we don't intend going anywhere soon. So we started with the information that horses only sleep 45 minutes a day.
Yes.
But I've been corrected, and thank you for all the horse people. Some of them who rode me in this morning. I arrived on horseback this morning.
You did, yeah, side saddle.
They said, you've got that wrong. They actually sleep a lot more than that. But horses only lie down for 45 minutes a day.
They sleep standing up sometimes.
Just like the night crew here do with their phone-ins all the way through the Night at 5 Live. They've mastered a way of sleeping while standing up and still at work. Our good friends at Fighting Talk, I take it they still follow us?
Yeah, George Ainsley on after us today.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, thanks to Tracey Thorn and Derek Redmond, but as always, chiefly yourselves.
The Danny Baker Show is a Campbell Davison media production for BBC Radio 5 Live.
Yes, here we are indeed. Thanks to Danny and thanks to Lindsay. Next on 5 Live, it is Fighting Talk, the place where 4 of the greatest minds in sport come together and debate their trust issues. We have 2 comics, a Canadian and a football manager who is cock a hoop and squeezing in a bit of FT before taking his team to Wembley next weekend. Join Brady, Brown, Watson and Caulfield to discuss all the big sporting topics of the week. After the news and sport on 5 Live is this week's Fighting Talk.
First for breaking news and the best live sport. This is BBC 5 Live.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Georgie Ainsley on 5 Live with the news. It's Faye Roscoe.
The top news story on 5 Live this hour. A death sentence is recommended for the former president of Egypt.
And in sport, Steven Gerrard plays the final home match of his 17-year career for Liverpool.
This is BBC 5 Live.
A court in Egypt has recommended the former president Mohamed Morsi is put to death for his involvement in